Hello and welcome to today's video. We are diving right in to the subreddit Am I the Asshole? A classic Reddit YouTuber react video. However, today we're looking at disability. I just typed in disability into the subreddit Am I the Asshole? And oh boy, we got some results. So we're gonna look at those today. If you're new, hi, I'm Claire. I have a disability, well, multiple disabilities. I'm neurodivergent, I'm chronically ill, I live in chronic pain, etc, etc. Oh, I also work in disability and am a carer in my spare time. So yeah, I have experience. I'm not the be-all and end-all judgment about disability, because no one is. I'm not the all-being authority. However, I do have a lot of experience and I am just here for the drama. I'm here for the drama to lead us into some hopefully meaningful conversations. So please, let's get started with, okay, I did pre-read these, and we're in for one. All right, story one. I remember this one. Okay. Am I the asshole for revealing my friend's disability to his online girlfriend? Now, my immediate thoughts, headline, nothing else. Yeah. So, change my mind. Okay, so I, 21, nope. Start again. So I, 24, male, a couple of days ago revealed to my friend John, 24, male, secret to his online girlfriend, Sarah, 22, female. Okay, so we're mid to early 20s. About him being in a wheelchair, brackets, a regular one, not power. Interesting detail, but thanks for that. Since he can't walk/move his legs. I've known John online for about 8 years now. We've been really good friends ever since. Great. We both met Sarah online gaming a little over 2 years ago now. Since then, both Sarah and John immediately became close friends and they've had a lot of common interests and shared the same humour. These two became inseparable. For context, the three of us hang out together when I'm free also. Okay, so it's a friend group, but two of them are together. Any free time the two of them have, they spend it together for 2 years. As soon as they both get off work, they're together. And on weekends, they spend just about every other day or night together. I'm assuming this is over the phone, but yes. John and Sarah have been dating for about 6 months now. Okay. After she asked him to be her boyfriend. Okay, so she initiated. And their bond has grown even stronger. It is very obvious that the two of them are in love with each other. Oh, sweet. And she believes she's found her soulmate and has stated to me that she's so excited to meet him in person in August. Okay, so they've never met in person. They're online. They've known each other for a couple of years and now they're dating. Okay, John, is that? John's in a wheelchair and that's a secret somehow. Okay, she's found her soulmate. Fantastic. Now, though they spend every minute together to the point they pass out on the phone at night, sending pics, even webcamming, video calling? Is that just the version when you're on the computer? I don't know these things. She was still unaware about his disability as he looks and sounds like the average guy. Okay. When the three of us have hung out, though through casual conversation, Sarah has made it clear in the past she's the type to date with the goal of marriage and isn't interested in anything casual. I don't see why that's relevant, but okay. Skipping some unnecessary filler information. Could have deleted the last sentence, but okay. I asked John why he hasn't told Sarah about the wheelchair yet since they've been dating for 6 months. Okay, so he hasn't told her. It's been 6 months. He's like, bro, what's up? That's how I assume guys talk. And he told me he doesn't know how to bring it up and he's nervous about it because he doesn't know how she'll react. As he used to tell his online friends, but one time he told a friend who told one of their friends and they didn't like John, to which they doxed. Oh my gosh, so his friend told one of his friends that didn't like John. They doxed him, which means like somehow getting all his personal info, name, phone number, social media, address, etc. They doxed him and sent him a bunch of hateful messages about not being able to walk. Okay, what? That is awful. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the friends are the arsehole so far. Okay, I told him, I understand, but Sarah obviously likes him a lot, so he should tell her now. And he said that he would once he feels comfortable and he knew how to approach it since it's no longer something he normally does. Okay, sounds like John's been scarred from this experience of telling a friend and then had some people harassing him and about his disability, which is just, I can't comprehend that people still do that. Like, that seems like primary school bad behavior. Anyway, after that conversation, a day or so later, I tried to be a good friend for both of them by just telling Sarah myself. Okay. Withholding judgment. No, I'm not. Don't lie. To which she didn't believe me, ended up confronting John about it. Oh my gosh, this is not good. John sends me a text freaking out, like, dude, you told her? Question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark. And I told him yes, as I figured I was doing them both a favor, which he replied, I was an asshole for betraying his trust. Now he's being distant towards me because it wasn't my secret to tell. I agree. So I guess, am I the asshole for telling my friend's secret to his girlfriend before he did himself? Should I have let him handle it himself? I'm just looking for opinions because I feel messed up. P.S. throwaway because I don't want this on my main. Okay, so the situation. You guys are all friends. 2 of your friends started dating. This is all in the online sphere. John is in a wheelchair. He has had a previous bad experience about telling people about his disability. And now he is scared to tell Sarah that he's in a wheelchair because he doesn't normally do it. But he knows they're going to meet up soon and they've started dating. You, OP, have inserted yourself into their relationship, outed him for his disability, and now Sarah finds out through you, not through him, and doesn't believe you, thinks it's some sort of weird prank, and then confronts John about it. This is messy. This is a nightmare, and I would be mad at you too. Let me check how old you are. You are 24 years old. You and John are 24 years old. For context, I am a 21-year-old, and I wouldn't have done this if I was 12, let alone 24. Now, I understand that we can only do better when we know better. However, regardless of disability status, you shared your friend's secret without their permission. You got in between 2 people's personal relationship and you outed someone's sensitive and confidential information. This was not your place. By any means, this was not your place. You have come from it saying this is not ill will, and I will give you that. You are trying to be a good friend. You were trying to make it easier, but you stepped in when it was not your responsibility. Knowing that John has had previous traumatic experience being doxxed and harassed by his former friends of friends because of this exact same situation, sharing the fact that he can't walk and is in a wheelchair. This is so clear cut for me. Now, you, so many thoughts. It was not your place. It is also not a safe thing to disclose someone else's disability for them. When you are disabled, you are a minority group. You are more vulnerable, and you have, like, John's had previous bad experience of someone finding out information, including his address. This is actually dangerous, and hate crimes do exist. Other than that, yeah, this is not a good move. What you could have done was ask John, hey, do you want me to tell Sarah? I think she's gonna react fine. Like, she loves you. I can tell that you guys are obsessed with each other, and I can be that third person, and then I can relay how she reacted to start the conversation. You could have offered that. You also could have gone on Reddit or the internet and asked about, hey, how does someone disclose their disability when they're not feeling comfortable to do so, but they know they want to, but they're scared? It sounds, you have not mentioned the fact that you have a disability. It sounds like John doesn't have other friends with disability, because if this was me, I mean, I talk to my friends who are also disabled, who are also autistic, who are also XYZ, about how they're navigating situations, how, like, if they've disclosed their disability at work, like, we chat about this stuff. So I'm interested that he obviously hasn't gone to someone else. You've stepped in and be like, hey, like, what's up? Which is totally fine, but this is not it. You stepped into someone's personal relationship, disclosing something that could be is very vulnerable and personal and can be sensitive, and also a part of your identity, and also you've had trauma in this area. This is not your place. I've said that 100 times, but this is not your place. You are 100% the asshole in this situation, and I would be apologizing immediately and be like, I understand that I've broken your trust, and I want you to know that I now understand that that was not my place. I shouldn't have done that. And I get that we're gonna have to rebuild trust if we want to continue this friendship, because that's wild. That is wild behavior. Oh my gosh, my friend's keeping this secret from a girl that he started dating. I'm just gonna go tell her. And not for her own safety. This is not a safety thing. This is something that he's scared to share with her. Oh, this is a lot. You are 100% the asshole. Let's check what other people said. Okay, so he has been voted the asshole. 100%, you're the asshole. He had every intention of telling Sarah in his own time, in his own way. He was trying to be truthful to her and share himself. You took that away. Yeah. And the fact he wasn't planning to blindside her when they met for the first time. He knew that that was coming up and that he wanted to share that presumably before they met in person, because she was gonna notice. He was just scared. He was just trying to work up to it and feel comfortable, because last time it went really badly. Oh, you weren't trying to be a good friend. I would say you were trying to be a good friend, but you missed that mark quite a lot. You were interfering with something you had nothing to do with. It was his information to share, not yours. You overstepped. Yeah. After that conversation, a day or so later, I tried being a good friend to the both of them by just telling Sarah myself. This is not how being a good friend works. He said he would tell her once he felt comfortable. You're the asshole, majorly. Do you have main character syndrome or something? Their relationship has nothing to do with you. His disability has nothing to do with you. When he decides to tell the person he's in a relationship with about his disability, has nothing to do with you. Yeah. I get that you were trying to be a good friend, but the fact that you were 24 and you did this, you should know better. And I hope that in the future you do better, because everyone on the internet called you an asshole. Oh, that was that's a rough one, but very clear cut. You are the asshole. Okay, I'm gonna read one that I haven't read before, and I just saw this one that says, am I the asshole for telling my friend she doesn't have a real disability? All of a sudden, I'm hooked. I'm fired up. I want to see what this is about. Okay, there is a lot of stigma about what classifies as a real disability. That's not a thing. There are just disabilities and not having a disability. So let's have a look-see. All right. Oh, I can see the verdict and I am surprised. Let's see. For context, I am a disabled wheelchair user. Okay, so we've got 2 potential disabilities here. We'll see. I have multiple conditions that cause issues with my balance, sleep, pain, and breathing. I've lived with these conditions my whole life. However, my life is very full. I love to travel, adventure, and do just as much as other people, but I am heavily reliant on aids. Okay. One of my close friends has started to have low blood sugar within the past year. She's only had 3, but she feels very unwell when this happens. She gets cold and very dizzy. She starts trembling and sweating. It's scary for her, which I understand and sympathize with. Yes, this is something I used to get when I was younger. Yeah, where it's just like all of the color drains out of your face. Side tangent. All right. Diabetes and other conditions have been ruled out. Ah, interesting. Doctors are fairly confident that the hypos have been caused by her drinking habits. Oh. Doctors have advised her to cut back, and she's lied to them saying she has. Okay. How do you know that? That's my first question. Last week, she had another hypo. As she told her doctors she'd cut back on drinking, they have given a medication to help. Okay. All right. Today, she wrote on Facebook, what a throwback, announcing that she's fighting a disability and that she needs support from her friends and family to get through it. I ignored the post, finding it a little overdramatic, but there was no need to comment, so I didn't. Within an hour or so, she messaged me asking why I didn't comment on her post. That's interesting. I do not know much about Facebook. Is she just assuming that she hasn't seen it, or has she liked it, not commented, and then she's like, oi, what's up there? Interesting. Okay. Drama. How old are you guys again? You haven't said. All right. She asked me why I haven't commented on her post. I told her that I didn't feel the need to, as we've spoken privately about her doctor's appointments and the medication. Fair. My friend asked if she could come over as she was feeling low. So I said, sure. She came over with his husband. I'm assuming she came over with her husband. We were having a nice evening, playing some cards and chatting, and she brought up the hypos again. I was listening and being supportive when she said, I don't know what it's like to be When she said, I know what it's like to be disabled, like you now. I lost my crap. I told her that she has no idea what it's like to be disabled because she doesn't have a real disability. It turned into a huge argument until eventually she left with her husband. After she left, I started to feel bad about what I said. I know she's struggling with this, but to compare it to my disability is really hurtful. Am I the asshole? ETA. Low blood sugar, also called hypoglycemia or hypo, where the level of sugar, glucose in your blood drops too low. Edit to fix autocorrect. Extra information. There are a lot of comments that the disability my friend has is alcoholism. To be clear, she does not believe she has any. She doesn't believe she has any alcohol dependency issues. When she refers to herself as disabled, she's referring to the hypoglycemia as a disability. Also, she has had extensive testing, no other symptoms other than 3 hypoglycemic episodes in 12 months. The doctors are very confident that if she reduces her drinking, the episodes will stop. I know this because I've been to the majority of appointments with her. Ah, okay. Interesting. So you're asking, are you the asshole for yelling at her and saying she doesn't have a real disability? On that alone, yes. The fact that you lost your crap and yelled at her does make you an asshole. The fact that you called it a real disability, it is kind of giving ableist undertones. Yeah, I think you are a bit of an asshole because of the way that you've said this. I understand losing your cool, but yelling at someone and saying they don't have a disability, that's not cool. However, given that said, I don't understand why she's lying to her doctors. Now, believe me, I've had my fair share of doctor's appointments, and I understand there are a lot of reasons to lie to your doctors when you're not receiving the care that you need. It's called working the system. And when you have an ableist system that doesn't deal with chronic health conditions specifically very well, sometimes you have to lie. But this is not giving that. You've done tests, they've come back negative, and your doctors are sure that if you do cut down drinking, these episodes will stop and there's no sort of other kind of anything else that they can do. You've also been put on medication. Now, a lot of medication you cannot drink on, so I would be worried about that for her health in general. But also, if you want these episodes to stop, at least trialing stopping drinking, documenting all of your symptoms and the effect that has, so you can show your doctors, hey, this is not to do with my drinking. I stopped drinking to prove this to you, so that you would listen to me. That I see is fair. It's interesting that you've actually been going to the doctor's appointments with her as a support person yeah. Is she the asshole for saying that she understands what it's like to be disabled like you when she is having these episodes and you are in a wheelchair with a whole bunch of other symptoms? Is that insensitive? Yes. Does it frustrate me when I say I have chronic fatigue and someone says I'm tired too? That's what this is giving. Yes, it does. Because fatigue and tiredness are not the same thing, and I'll explain that in another video if you'd like. But so for context, they have been voted not the arsehole. However, the comments are mixed. Some people are saying everybody sucks here, and others are saying not the arsehole. It's interesting. It is not your place to determine whether someone else's conditions affect them to the point of disability. It's never your place, whether you're a disabled person or not. So you're the asshole for that. However, it seems like she is not taking care of her health in a way that leads itself to a lot of extra compassion from you. And you've got that insight from what she's actually passing on to the doctors. So it doesn't seem like you're misreading the situation. And yeah, she's the asshole in this situation. You're also an asshole. Could you have distanced yourself from her? I mean, I guess you kind of tried by not commenting, but it would be very hard for me to have someone who seem to equate our disabilities the same, or like, it's not a competition though. This is what it comes down to. Disability is not a competition. People's disability is the broadest minority group ever, by the way, with the most amount of people. It's the biggest minority group, and because of that there is so much variation in it. Someone who has a physical disability, an intellectual disability, a chronic illness, a terminal illness, is deaf or blind, or was born disabled or became disabled, they're all gonna have different experiences. So it doesn't really work whenever we're comparing who has it worse, or what disability is more valid or more difficult, or deserves more money for support. That's why it's so difficult. I think you're both a bit of an asshole. I mean, you yelled at her. Was she being also insensitive? Yes, but we only know what we know. But I'm assuming you guys are very close since you've been to her doctor's appointments. You're hanging out with her husband at your own house. It seems like you're very close. It seems like she should know the extent, at least a bit more than this comment, the extent to which your disability affects you, and saying that you get what it's like to be disabled just like you. I think that's the point. And it's very hard, even in general, to hear someone, oh my gosh, I have so much more empathy for you. I understand now, I have empathy for you now because it's affecting me. And unfortunately, that's what humans are like. We kind of sometimes only grasp the impact something else is having on someone until it impacts us as well. I think this is a difficult situation. You're an asshole for yelling at her. She's an asshole for not looking after her health, but also pursuing medical help, but not giving your doctors the information that they need to properly assess you. And I would be mad at her too. Yeah. I'm teetering between not the asshole and everyone sucks here. I think she's a bit more of an asshole than you, but this is your side of the story. But yeah. Actually, if she was writing this, the intent could be different. She might phrase it like, I was trying to explain that I empathize with her or whatever, but I would still be like, yeah, that's really insensitive and that's coming across really mean, and you can understand why that would be very hurtful if you thought about it. So no, you're not the asshole. She's the asshole. This is a difficult situation, but yeah, no. I finally decided you were not the asshole in this situation. Oh, that was a lot. Okay. Wow. Yep, that's a lot. Wow. Oh no. Am I the asshole if I... Hang on. Am I the asshole? I told my parents they birthed a disabled child, so they just have to live with it. I'm concerned. This sounds difficult. Oh, hang on. I think they might be referring to themselves. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm gonna do it. Anyway, okay. I, 22, have been diagnosed with ADHD, autism, dyslexia, dyspraxia, low muscle issues, anxiety, and I'm slightly blind. Okay, cool. Wait, hang on. 22. Yeah. You had me with the ADHD, autism, dyslexia. Snap. Okay. I got diagnosed from the ages to 2 to 7 with everything. Oh, okay. So young. Due to all of my diagnoses, I'm unable to drive everywhere. Everywhere or anywhere? I can still bus places and take Ubers, but being driven somewhere is sometimes the best option. I totally agree. It is, it's so much more exhausting being on public transport or even in an Uber rather than, anyway. Multiple doctors told my parents that I would be unable to drive due to me being slightly blind. I forgot about the slightly blind bit. Yes, they take vision impairments very seriously at the driving office place. We call it Service New South Wales, but like the DMV. Blah, 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 unable to drive due to being slightly blind and having anxiety. Wrong word. As dyslexic, as I'm unable to hold a full-time job, I don't have heaps of money coming in, so Ubers are usually the last resort. Yeah, totally agree. Yesterday, I asked my dad if he could pick me up as the bus I was supposed to take never came. Oh, that sucks. When he went to pick me up, he made a few comments saying it would be a lot easier if I could drive. Okay. And how I should learn to drive. Anyways, despite the fact that doctors don't want me to, and as he hates having to pick me up all the time, I replied, that's just what happens when you have a disabled child, and it's something you have to put up with. He took massive offense to that and told Mum, who thought I was being incredibly rude. He picks me up once or twice a week at most. How old are you again? You're 22. Okay. All right. I'm going to give your dad and Mum the benefit of the doubt. You haven't explained how you presented this information, if this was yelled, sassy, etc. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Apart from the fact that you don't seem to feel comfortable to drive, doctors have literally told them and you that you shouldn't drive. And you tried to catch the bus and the bus never came. That's a failure on the bus's part. And you don't have the money to take Ubers, which I'm sure that you would all the time if you had the finances to, but you can't hold a full-time job, probably because of your disabilities, right? It's a very common thing. Disabilities, I need more money to accommodate myself, but I don't have the funds because I'm disabled, but I need more money to accommodate myself because I'm disabled, and just keeps going round and round in circles. Listen, you could have been an asshole for the way that you said this, but no, you're not the asshole. This should have been a conversation at the least, but it sounds like your dad was making kind of passive-aggressive comments, being like, be easier if you could drive. You want to learn sometime? And you're like, I can't. You want to buy me some new eyes sometime? I can't do anything about that. Having anxiety is something that you can treat. A lot of people have driving anxiety, and you can get special instructors to assist you building confidence in the car, so that you will eventually be able to get your license, even if it takes a long time. However, being slightly blind, if glasses aren't cutting it, there is nothing that you can do at this stage in technological advancement. There is nothing that you can do to be able to drive slightly blind if the doctors are like, yeah, no. And the thing is, if the doctors are going, yeah, no, at least where I live, in the country I live, you will not be able to get your license, because if it is mentioned anywhere in your medical records that you have eyesight problems, you have to get that signed off by a doctor or an optometrist, probably an optometrist, a specific eye doctor, saying, yeah, actually they're okay to be able to drive, or yes, they can only drive if they wear their glasses. So even if you learnt how to drive, you wouldn't be able to get your license if the doctors are like, no, sorry. I understand that this is difficult and this is clearly causing some tension in your relationship, but like, yeah, that's kind of the way the cookie crumbles, my friend. You should want to support your child and them getting home safe, regardless if they're an adult and regardless of their disabilities. Like, if I called my parents and said, hey, I'm stranded, the bus didn't come, you'd want them to come and not be mad about that. Ugh, even if it is inconvenient, that's just the way it is. So, no, no, you are not the asshole for this. And yes, your dad is the asshole, and somehow your mum, because she thought you were being incredibly rude. I mean, yes, but also your dad said some really hurtful things. So I think your dad is being hurtful and you responded rudely. Like, both can be true. Not the asshole. Don't take them for granted, because a lot of people don't got parents. So not the asshole, but don't take them for granted. It doesn't sound like you're doing that. It sounds like that was a last resort. And if you have the finances, you would have called an Uber. Not the asshole. I have a disabled child who's 16. His health issues started at 14. And as it stands, he'll never be able to drive, etc. I cried for the dreams I had for him and lost, but I accept his new normal and that I am his personal taxi. Your parents have known what your future would be like for 20 years. Plus, if you drive against medical advice, you probably will make your insurance invalid. It would in the UK. That's if you're issued one to start with, and that's a whole legal mess. I don't think your parents would want to get into. Yeah, like I said, it may be impossible for you to get your license. So your dad just kind of dangling that in front of you, that would feel like a slap in the face to me. It actually took me a really long time to get my license because of my disabilities, because I was so unwell at the time. Part of that was anxiety, part of that was fatigue, and it took me several years. So I'm still on one of my provisional licenses, which means that, like, you have your license, but you're not like fully allowed to do everything. You've got to like stay under a speed limit and not have any alcohol, and just like that. So it is difficult being older and still on, like what you associate with being a teenage license. But I'm so grateful I can be able to drive, and it has been such a blessing. And even though it took me a long time, I wouldn't give up that independence for anything. So I would assume that it's not like you're choosing not to drive, and even if you could drive, you would choose not to. Driving gives you a lot of independence, and it's something that a lot of people take for granted. Yeah, so my heart goes out to you. If someone, whenever there felt like there was pressure for me to get my license when I was not well enough to get it, it really hurt, because it's like that meme that's like, imagine how tired we are of it. Imagine how tired we are of it. Like, yeah, like, it's hard for you to pick up me twice a week, but it's hard for me to rely on inconsistent public transport, expensive Ubers, or you guys. I would prefer to be independent in this aspect of my life, but that's not possible for me. So yeah, that would be very hurtful in general, suggesting that you should get your license, and it's a pain that you don't have your license when you're unable to. Yeah, your dad's the asshole for this. This wasn't as controversial as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, that was simple. Difficult, but simple. I hope you guys can get through it. All right, should we do one more? Okay, this one says, am I the asshole for being rude to a woman who yelled at me for using a disabled toilet? Okay, it sounds like they're the disabled person. Someone yelled at them for using the disabled toilet, and they were rude back. I'm excited for this. This could be drama filled. I wonder who's the asshole. All right, let's see. Okay, I have an ileostomy. Oh, so that, oh, they're just gonna tell me. That's fine. I was like, I don't know a lot, but I think I know what this is. Okay, this means I've had my colon removed and I have a stoma. This is on my stomach and this is where the poop comes out from into the attached bag. Yes. Shout out to Hannah Witten. That's what I know most about ileostomies from. All right. They have an ileostomy. They literally have a, like, I don't want to say bathroom disability, but this seems like a very valid reason to use the disabled bathroom. They literally have a disability that involves the bathroom, like, and pooping, etc. Okay, you usually can't see it, and it doesn't look like I have any kind of disability, although it is legally classed as a disability. Yes, obviously. To empty it, I need to kneel by the toilet, rinse it out with water, fill up my travel bottle in the toilet, and use this to rinse out the bag. Not rinsing it is gross because of needing to kneel on... Okay. Because of needing to kneel and have water on my hand, I need to use the disabled toilets whenever I can. Right, because you need water and, like, you need everything in that same cubicle. You're not going to be going in and out of the toilet stall with crap on your hands, obviously. Okay, I have a radar key. So those are the keys for the disabled toilet, so that only, like, people who are authorized to use them can use them. They're called something different in Australia, I think. It's like a bunch of letters, I think. So I forget. I have a radar key to get me into them. It was given to me after I had my surgery. Using non-disabled toilets is very difficult, very hard to kneel, very little privacy, no sink. Exactly. Today, I was at an M&S store and had to empty my bag, so I used the disabled toilet as usual. FYI, almost all disabled toilets have signs on them saying, no, not all disabilities are visible. Yes, very important sign. I wonder if people read it. Honestly, like, hello. That's what I imagine this person doing, being like, and walking off. Sometimes I fantasize about if I could pretend to be deaf in an interaction, if someone was yelling at me for using, like, for example, using a disabled toilet or using a disabled parking space. Would that be ethical? I don't know, but I don't think you owe assholes, ableist assholes, your medical history, or compassion or niceness. So that's something that I often think about. I went, could I pull off? Anyway, but that would feel really stupid. Anyway, I've just got that one just in my pocket for a real emergency situation. Wouldn't really help in this situation because I don't think you necessarily need the disabled bathroom if you're deaf. But anyway, when I tried to come out of the toilet, my way was blocked by a woman who started to berate me for using the disabled toilet. Apparently, she saw me go in and has been waiting for me to come out. Whoa! She was stopping me from leaving and threatening to call the staff. First of all, the first thing that you do is call the staff. You do not wait outside the toilet to yell at someone. You go, hey, I think someone's using the disabled bathroom who isn't there. Like, if you were going to say anything, that is what you would say. You would go to the staff and be like, hey, there's someone in the bathroom. They're not disabled. Like, that shouldn't be. And could you talk to them when they come out? Like, you don't... Imagine, like, surely you're going to the bathroom area because you need to go to the bathroom, and instead of going to the bathroom, you decide to wait there to chastise someone from going in the bathroom. This is scary. This is scary. I don't like it. She was stopping me from leaving and threatening to call the staff. I'd be like, yeah, call the staff. Go ahead, my friend. I tried to tell her that I need to use the toilet and showed her my special radar key. Got the key. Don't worry, guys, I've got the key. She just kept getting angrier and angrier and louder. We had a crowd by this time. This is petrifying. This is what so many disabled people and people with invisible illnesses are scared of. Just being harassed. Yeah. I am laughing because I'm uncomfortable. All right. In desperation, I finally pulled up my shirt and slid my trousers down a bit and showed her my ileostomy bag. I pointed out the sign on the door. That's what I said. Sign on the door that said not all disabilities are visible. I told her she was ignorant and needed to learn how to mind her own business. Then I told her to F off and get out of my way. I have no notes, honestly. I have no notes. You already showed her the radar key. You tried to explain. You went, look, this is the reason I'm in here. This is what this says. Educate yourself. Get out of my way. No notes, honestly. Am I the arsehole for being so rude? I know that I should have been nicer, but she would not stop blocking me in the toilet. Yeah, that's the other thing. You're using your physical body to corner a disabled person and yell at them. It's not a good look. It's not a good look in general. That's, yeah. Whew. Okay, without reading any of the comments, I can confidently say you are not the asshole. Pretty baller move, honestly. And like I said before, you do not owe assholes and people who are being ignorant and ableist, you don't owe them your medical history. You don't owe them, they don't, like, they cannot override your right to privacy. They should mind their own business, especially if they're ill-informed. Like, how many people have they done this to, or are they just waiting to get on their high horse to yell at someone? The fact that the sign literally says, not all disabilities are visible. This is not this person's business. This is a random person. I understand being mad when people abuse facilities that are specifically designed to try and be more accommodating to disabled people, because they are pushed out of so much of society due to things like not being able to access accessible bathrooms. I understand that, and yet in no world would I block someone into the toilet, yell at them, threaten to go to staff without even informing the staff to begin with. This is not good. Yelling, shouting, getting louder and louder, blocking someone from leaving. None of this is good. It is all bad. Yes, they're the arsehole. Okay, not the arsehole. I had a friend once who parked in the disability bay and was yelled at by someone nearby. He waited for them to finish, then removed his prosthetic leg. They went white as a sheet and got out of there pretty fast. If you are so much of an ass that you have to go up to a stranger in public, knowing nothing about them, then you deserve everything you get if it blows up in your face. That's right. Like, she didn't come up to say something to you and be like, hey, I noticed you went into the disabled bathroom. Like, people really need those. Can you not do that? And then you were like, oh, no, don't worry, I have my radar key. I actually have you actually can't see my disability, but I do need to be in there. Don't worry about it. Like, sorry for your for your concern, but it's all good. And then she was like, oh, I'm so sorry, my love. I'm gonna keep shopping. I'm so sorry for the mix up. Like, that would be a little conversation that I feel like you wouldn't have been mad with. And although, it kind of is your place. It's your place to stand up for disabled people, but it's also your place to listen to disabled people and believe people when they say they're disabled. Do you know what I mean? And you had a key. She can't get in there. She doesn't have a key. You have a key. This is not it. The prosthetic leg is a classic and hilarious, and I love it. I love this one. You don't look disabled. Well, you didn't look stupid until you open your mouth. Yeah, I love you don't look autistic. You don't look XYZ. Oh, well, you didn't look uninformed before we had this conversation, but look at you. You're really breaking down barriers. That's a classic. That's a really good comeback to have in your back pocket. You didn't look misinformed until we had this conversation, but you learn something new every day. Not the asshole. I honestly hate people like this. From one shitty encounter One of my shittier encounters was also in an M&S. You're not the asshole for standing up for yourself. This lady was a bully and trying to intimidate you. That's the other thing as well. It wasn't saying something, it wasn't just what she said, but it was also how you say it. Like, if you are going to be wrong and loud about it, you get what you deserve. Like, the fact that she was physically cornering you as well just adds another layer. She was trying to intimidate you. She was trying to have a fight with you, and drawing a crowd, and yeah. Not the arsehole. She decided to have a confrontation in a public toilet, not you. Once she started yelling, all bets were off. Yeah, she didn't say it in a very nice way. She drew attention to you. Like, if you were someone who was also like kind of like an anxious and reserved, quiet person, this would have been mortifying, in addition to it already being a horrific situation. I am so glad you had the courage to yell at her. If that happened, I probably, like, I want to think that I would be able to yell back in the moment, but even if I didn't, or I did, I would go to my car and burst into tears. So honestly, good on you. I think that's it for today. That was a lot. This was so fun. I feel like I just talked a lot, but I would love to hear what you said in the comments. I currently don't remember all the stories we just read, so maybe I'll do a recap in the description, so that we can comment knowing which story is which. But that was lovely. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I love talking about disability. On my page, we talk a lot about disability, chronic illness, neurodivergence, all of that kind of jazz, as well as just, you know, young lifestyle stuff. I apologize, that was my knuckles cracking. Keep your hands quiet, Claire. No, that's ableist in itself. Just kidding. Anyway, I am tired. I'm going to go. Thank you so much for being here. I would love to do some more of these. Let me know. The drama is hot with these ones. The tea is piping. I love it. Disability is often people are scared to have conversations about disability because they don't want to be seen as ignorant or not knowing things, and that's totally okay. And sometimes you should keep your mouth shut, but I encourage questions in this context because I am offering advice and information, and you know, like, let me know if you disagree or if you have something else to say in the comments about disability. Are you disabled? Do you have family members who are disabled? How much contact do you have with the disabled community? Have you never met someone that you knew or was close to someone who has a disability? Maybe you do, you just don't know it. I'm blabbering and I'm gonna go. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye.